Have you ever seen a play in the NFL that left you scratching your head? From trick plays gone wrong to officiating blunders, the NFL has had its fair share of weird moments. And we're going to revisit unforgettable blunders and some famous controversial calls. So buckle up, football fans, because we're about to take a wild ride through the wackiest moments the NFL has to offer. But before we jump in, make sure to like and subscribe if you love the NFL. Starting at number 22 is Dan Cannoli's 71-yard kick return. Often overshadowed but crucial to any team's success, offensive linemen rarely get the recognition they deserve. In a 2010 game against the Green Bay Packers, center Dan Cannoli exemplified this undervalued role. Cannoli, usually focused on blocking for teammates, found himself with an unexpected chance to grab the spotlight. A short kickoff landed right at his feet, and he didn't hesitate. With the ball tucked under his arms like a loaf of bread, Cannoli weaved through surprised Packer defenders, racking up an impressive 71-yard run and bringing the ball to the Green Bay 4-yard line. This play perfectly showcased the athleticism that often goes unnoticed amongst offensive linemen, setting up an easy scoring opportunity for Tom Brady and the offense. Number 21 is the butt fumble. In a critical first down situation, quarterback Mark Sanchez fumbled the ball in spectacular fashion. What should have been a well-rehearsed fake handoff turned to a comedy of errors. Sanchez, scrabbling to salvage the play, lunged forward to only collide awkwardly with the backside of his teammate, Brandon Moore. The impact caused the ball to pop loose, and the Patriots recovered the fumble for a touchdown. This blunder might be considered the NFL's funniest play ever, becoming a permanent fixture on sports highlight reels for years to come. And number 20 is the Falcons' Super Bowl collapse. With a seemingly insurmountable lead of 28-3 in the third quarter, the Atlanta Falcons looked poised for a Super Bowl victory. However, history unfolded in dramatic fashion. The New England Patriots mounted an epic comeback, capitalizing on Atlanta's mistakes. This improbable turnaround resulted in the Falcons suffering the most devastating collapse ever witnessed in an NFL playoff game. Interestingly, this game also marked the first time a playoff team lost after scoring a touchdown from a playoff interception. And number 19 is the clock runs out on Minnesota. Looking to trade down from pick number 7 of the first round, the Vikings apparently forgot that they had a draft clock, which ran out on them. The Jacksonville Jaguars and Carolina Panthers, picking 8th and 9th, quickly made their selections before the Vikings even realized what happened. They finally did make their selection, but when you get clowned on by the Jaguars, your franchise really should be folded altogether. And number 18 is the helmet catch. Trailing by 5 on 3rd and 5 with 1 minute and 15 remaining, Manning somehow escaped unbelievable pressure and hurled the ball over Tyree's head. Tyree reached up and pulled it down, and somehow the ball appeared to have magnets on it, becoming impossibly stuck to his helmet. The Pats lost, and the play became a Super Bowl legend. Number 17 is the Music City Miracle. In a surprising play, fullback Lorenzo Neal received a high kick, and following the plan, handed off to tight end Frank Wycheck. Wycheck drew the defense to his right before launching a daring lateral pass across the field. Wide receiver Kevin Dyson snatched the ball and sprinted 75 yards for a touchdown. This stunning upset would mark the beginning of a long playoff drought for the Bills, 17 seasons to be exact, the longest such streak in any major North American professional sports league. Meanwhile, the Titans, despite the loss, advanced to the Super Bowl but fell short in a heart-wrenching 1-yard short defeat to the St. Louis Rams. And number 16 is Brad Johnson's self-touchdown pass. NFL history is filled with game-changing moments, but this one takes the cake for pure silliness. During a random midseason game against the Panthers, Viking quarterback Brad Johnson launched a pass that went awry. A Carolina lineman deflected it right back into Johnson's hands. Seizing the unexpected opportunity, Johnson ditched his throwing duties and sprinted for the wide-open end zone in a hilarious display of improvisational athleticism. This wacky play serves as a reminder that even lighthearted moments can provide immense entertainment in the world of football. But number 13 on the list is even wackier, so be sure to stay with us to find out. Coming in at number 15 is Colts' weird formation. The Indianapolis Colts, known for their unconventional plays under quarterback Peyton Manning, took things to a whole new level years after his departure. In a 2015 Week 6 matchup against the New England Patriots, the Colts faced a crucial 4th down situation. Their attempt to gain an edge involved an incredibly strange and ultimately illegal formation. All players, except a wide receiver and safety, lined up far to the right, creating a deceptive scheme aimed at drawing the Patriots offside. However, in a shocking turn of events, the Colts actually snapped the ball, resulting in a disastrous outcome. And number 14 is nuts over brains? With today's technology developing at a rapid pace, we couldn't help but notice how much damage NFL players take. So it's only logical to think that protection is key for this sort of sport. But apparently, this wasn't the case for the NFL. The jockstrap was invented in 1888 to, of course, protect what is arguably a man's most important organ. But I guess they forgot about the brain. The first football helmet wasn't invented until 8 years later, and the face bar that we know now wasn't applied onto the helmet until the 1930s. Needless to say, we all know what men would protect first when it comes down to it. At number 13 is the Vikings clock runs out in the 2003 NFL Draft. Now we did mention this earlier in the list, but we didn't really go into detail, so here's all those extra details. The 2003 NFL Draft offered a moment of chaos for the Minnesota Vikings. Holding the 7th overall pick, they aimed to trade down, but negotiations stalled. Crucially, the Vikings lost track of the clock and failed to make a selection before their allotted time expired. This blunder opened the door for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who swiftly snatched quarterback Brian Leftwich, capitalizing on the Vikings' misfortune, and the Carolina Panthers then grabbed offensive tackle Jordan Gross. Finally, jolted back to reality, Minnesota scrambled to make their pick, eventually selecting defensive tackle Kevin Williams. At number 12 is Joe Theismann's injury. A horrific injury unfolded during a 1985 divisional matchup between the Washington Redskins and the New York Giants. Quarterback Joe Theismann was involved in a play where the linebacker Lawrence Taylor, a rising star known for his aggressive defense, delivered a sack. The tackle resulted in a compound fracture of Theismann's leg, abruptly ending his NFL career. This incident became a defining moment, highlighting the physical risks faced by football players. And number 11 is We Want the Ball and We're Going to Score. The 2003 to 2004 NFL playoffs saw a closely contested first-round matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Both teams entered the game with identical 10-6 records, making for a tense atmosphere. After a Seattle touchdown tied the game at 27-27, the drama truly began. Seattle quarterback Matt Hasselbeck won the crucial coin toss, and in a moment forever etched in NFL history, declared with bravado, "We want the ball, we're going to score." However, his confidence proved misplaced. On the Seahawks' first possession of overtime, Hasselbeck's interception was returned for a touchdown by Green Bay defender Al Harris, sealing a heartbreaking defeat for Seattle. Number 10 is punter meets Antonio Brown's cleat. Cleveland Browns punter Spencer Lanning attempted a punt, but Antonio Brown had other plans. Antonio Brown decided it was in his best interest to transform into Gerald Butler in the movie 300, and Spartan kick Lanning right in the helmet. Unfortunately, Brown's cleat was caught and thus ending Brown's chances of scoring. I mean, it's bizarre nonetheless. At number 9 is the Holy Roller. In a game between Oakland Raiders and the San Diego Chargers, Raiders quarterback Ken Stabler fumbled the ball, which was then lateraled by teammate Fred Biletnikoff and recovered by teammate Dave Casper for a touchdown. The play was initially ruled a fumble, but then overturned after review. Number 8 is the Double Doink. In a wild-card playoff game between the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles, Eagles kicker Cody Parkey attempted a game-winning field goal, but the ball hit both upright posts and bounced out of the end zone. And number 7 is the Immaculate Reception. In the final seconds of the AFC divisional playoffs between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Oakland Raiders, something crazy happened. With his team trailing 7-6 on the 4th down with 22 seconds left in the game, Steelers quarterback Terry Bradshaw threw a pass targeting Steelers running back John Fuqua. The ball bounced off the helmet of the Raiders safety Jack Tatum. Steelers fullback Franco Harris caught it right before it hit the ground and ran for a game-winning touchdown. The play has been a source of some controversy and speculation ever since, with some contending that the ball only touched Fuqua or it hit the ground before Harris caught it, either of which would have resulted in an incomplete pass by the rules at the time. But hold on, because it gets even crazier with number 4 on this list. But number 6 is the Heidi game. In a game between the New York Jets and the Oakland Raiders, the broadcast was switched to a movie midway through the 4th quarter with the Raiders leading. NBC, the game's television broadcaster, decided to break away from its coverage of the East Coast to broadcast the television film Heidi, which caused many viewers to miss the Raiders' comeback. At number 5 is the Manning cast Flea Flicker. Peyton and Eli Manning used the telestrator to sketch up a play during the Monday Night Football game, and they persuaded the producers to give it to the Buffalo Bills coach, Sean McDermott. After then, the Bills executed the play successfully for a score. At number 4 is the Minneapolis Miracle. The game was won by the Minnesota Vikings over the New Orleans Saints thanks to a long pass from quarterback Case Keenum to wide receiver Stephon Diggs, who received the pass at the last second for a score. At number 3 is the coin toss fumble. The referee mishandled the coin toss during a Jacksonville Jaguars vs Miami Dolphins game, and due to the uncertainty, there was an odd situation where both teams tried to kick off simultaneously. And number 2 is the Santonio Holmes push-off. Santonio Holmes, a wide receiver for the Steelers, caught the game-winning touchdown against the Arizona Cardinals in Super Bowl 43. Meanwhile, replay suggests that Holmes might have pushed off the Cardinals defender before making the catch. The play will still remain controversial. And for number 1 is the Cleveland Browns' Myles Garrett helmet swing. Myles Garrett, a defensive end for the Cleveland Browns, tore off Mason Rudolph's Steelers helmet during a game between the two teams and swung it at Rudolph, striking him in the head. Garrett was suspended for several games as a consequence of this. Now, which one of these was the weirdest moment in your opinion? Be sure to let us know in the comments. However, some weird moments in the NFL might have actually been planned. What do we mean? Well, be sure to check out the 10 NFL players that have been caught cheating in this video. I'll see you there.